I've said in a lot of these videos that a lot of folks look at me as that, like I'm some kind of flim-flam man. I never tell the truth. I'm always hiding things, concealing things, and I'm trying to pull a fast one on everybody. So, with that in mind, let me try to show here in some comments on video that I really did work at Walden Bookstore in Montgomery Mall while I was in college. People can fact check what I'm about to say, and they say, yes, he definitely worked there. Okay, so I worked there from roughly Thanksgiving 1973 to about the same time, Christmas 1975. 2 years. And Walden Bookstore at that time was located in a slightly different Montgomery Mall than what Montgomery Mall is now. The mall was enlarged many years after I'd worked there. When I worked there, it was just the central, what do you call this, aisle, or corridor of the mall. It was one corridor, and there was no offshoots of it. Now, there's a length of mall that goes off that main corridor in the direction of the south, and there's another offshoot, if you will, that is another corridor that heads north from that main corridor. But at the time I worked there, it was just the main corridor. Now, the store was located at a place where there is now a store called White and Black, I think is the name of the store. So it's a woman's clothing store. Now, at the time I worked there, next to Walden Bookstore, to the west of it, was a Merle Norman store, which I think was cosmetics for women, something like that. I never went in there. So, okay. Now, the next store down to the east, I don't remember. Whatever it was, I didn't pay attention to it. I don't even know. Now, let's talk about the store itself. Okay, so when you entered the store, immediately to the left was a counter where there were two cash registers. Okay, and these were not computerized, and they had cash drawers, and so each night when we closed the store, we had to count the money in the drawer. Exactly. And we had to fill out like an accounting page in this accounting book, so that I'm not sure we balanced things. We just entered the numbers on this page, and then there was an accountant who would come in at other times and make sure everything was adding up. So everything would add up, because, you know, that guy he was a Vietnam veteran. That's what I remember about him. More than that, I don't know. Anything about his time in Vietnam, I know nothing, but he was the Vietnam veteran, okay? And he was the accountant, and sometimes he'd say to me, there was like 14 cents I couldn't find, but I found them. This is what he'd say to me. You know, so things always added up in that register. And I believe we kept $100 of cash in that register. That was the base money in the register. So, two registers. Okay, so $100 each. So, right in front of the counter there, I'm trying to remember. There were the best sellers on tables. bestsellers fiction, bestsellers nonfiction. Yeah, because I remember, well, some of them were not bestsellers. These were like newly published books. Let's not call them bestsellers. There were bestsellers mixed in among them. These were newly published hardback books on these tables. Now, directly across from the front desk, on the shelves across the store, there were like gift books. One of them was a book called Kahil Gibran's. I can see the cover. It's like this. It's like a gift book. These are like poetry books, inspirational type books that you'd find in this bookcase directly across from the desk. Now, to the left of that, on metal racks, was the fiction section, alphabetical by author. Here's all your contemporary fiction, okay, including by the well-known authors of today, but not including classics. Classics of literature, people like Dickens, Hawthorne, whatever, around the world. Chekhov, maybe, writers, Tolstoy, people like that, around the world. They were further down the store, on that same wall, further down the store. But right there was the fiction section. Next to that, next to the fiction section, I'm trying to remember, I believe was mysteries. Okay, these were Agatha Christie, mysteries and detective novels. So Mickey Spillane, other writers were all in this section, which was a fairly small section compared to the fiction section, which was quite large. Okay, so the fiction section stretched roughly to halfway down the store. And then you come to the mysteries, detective fiction. This is only, I don't know, 6-7 feet across. And then you're going to come to the poetry section, which is like 3 feet across. And in there, not much poetry, but you'd find books by Robert Frost. Who else? Just T.S. Eliot. People like that. After that, going down the store, you'd come to the science fiction section. And then that was, well, it was nowhere near what the fiction section was, but it was, I'd say it's the second largest paperback section, unless the classics were the second largest. The classics were on the opposite wall from those science fiction books, on metal racks. Okay? Now, next to the science fiction section was the young readers section. Books for teenagers, paperback books on metal racks, and then on the back wall, children's books. So these were hardback books in the back wall shelves. Louisa May Alcott, Little Women, Dr. Seuss, The Little Engine That Could, Good Night, whatever. A lot of popular children's books in hardback, filed up, shelved on the back wall. Now, as you're going down the store, okay, right across from the front desk, okay, you have your fiction and non-fiction books that are getting published right now. These are new books. After that, there were cookbooks on tables and travel books. Cookbooks were on the far side from the front desk, proceeding down to the left, and across from them, travel books. All kinds of travel books. In those days, these were called coffee books, coffee table books. So, highly pictorial books, oversized like this, that you would put on a coffee table, beautiful photographs in them, places around the world. Okay, so the paperback books now on that wall, what were they? I believe these might have been self-help, psychology type books. And then going down the store, I'm trying to remember what was there. Because most people who came in the store and were going to ask me a question would want to know where things were in the fiction section, this kind of thing. What was it? Maybe it'll come to me more clearly as I go along. So, going down that wall, opposite the fiction section wall, and I think there were self-help books, psychology books, this kind of thing. And you go down the store, and about halfway down there's an alcove, which is like a little den in the store, and there's shelves in there, and this is where the I'm trying to think, is this the reference section? I believe this is the reference section. Dictionaries, atlases, this kind of thing. How to learn a language, books like that. Help with school. There were books, how to study this or that subject. They're about this big, and they were in there. And travel books were in there as well. Paperback travel books. And after that, going down along that wall, as I said, were the classics. And they were on metal racks. Paperback books. Dickens, Tolstoy, Hawthorne, Edgar Allan Poe. This kind of thing, okay. And the drama section, I believe, was separate. And it was, wow. I think it was right next to the classics there. Okay, along that wall. And when you went to the end of that wall, there's a door into the back room of the store. And you entered that back room, and there was some metal bookcases and a bathroom to the left. You go to the bathroom there, and then you proceeded more. There's like a hallway that would lead out to like an alleyway that led out of the mall. Okay, no one ever put anything in that alleyway, but along that back hallway from the back room of the store, that would be all lined with boxes of books. Okay, now that back area of the store, I'm talking about the back wall there, right before you go into the back room. That was children's books, and then going forward along the floor of the store were tables, and on these tables were pretty much all the way up until you got to those travel and cookbooks, right? These were called, some of the names just escaped my memory. I don't know, they were books, remainder books, I think they're called. And these were books that were mainly hardback copy books, and they went on the table not the way you put a book in a bookshelf, you know, with the spine outward. They went face down with the title, the cover page looking upward. And they were piled in stacks like that on all these tables. There were lots of these, and they were marked down to like $1, $2. So I got a book that was very influential in my life called The Long Patrol. It was a collection of Norman Mailer's writings. From the time he started out as a writer all the way up until when that book was published. And it's about this thick, and it contained lots and lots of Norman Mailer's writings. It cost $1. I got that. Lots of books like that on those tables. So, there's the store. Anybody want to check that out? I did work there. And that's the way the store was. Now, what did I do there? Well, I ran the cash register. And when I wasn't running the cash register, let's say only one person was needed and there were two people there who could run it, I might be out in the store putting books on shelves, or I might be in the back room or along that back corridor unpacking books and writing prices in pencil on like the first page of the book. I'd be down there, $1, put aside $1, like that, over and over. Now, at the time when the store closed, and during the time when the store was open, one of the things I had to do was, this is a word I didn't like then and I don't like now, but tidy the store. That's the way the manager, that was her term, and her supervisor, her term, so I used to tidy, and that meant just, you're going to go through the store, and there's stacks of books. If one of them's skewed like this or out of place, put it on the stack right and make the stack perfect. And all the stacks are perfect like that throughout the store. That's tidying the store. And that's the thing I would do right before we closed each night. I'd tidy the store and make sure all the books were in perfect alignment all the way through that store. I was well known for doing a great job at that. And after that, we would close the registers. We'd count up all the money. We'd write down how much cash, how much change in the book there. And then we'd lock the store up and leave. So that was my 2 years of working in that store. And I did work there for 2 years. And, well, I'm not hiding anything. I got nothing to hide, never have, but I've explained why it is that it seems like no one ever thinks I'm telling the truth. They just don't. Oh, now this, and well, and since I've been declared to be crazy in 1982, and I've been considered crazy for over 40 years, especially now, and over the past 40 years, I can forget about anybody believing anything coming out of my mouth because of that. So, I'm trying to show here in this video that I tell the truth, and I don't lie, and I never have. I tell the truth, and I'm one of those people who, I said that I am honest to a fault. So, the opposite of what's thought about me. That I'm pulling something over on you, I'm faking you out, I'm trying to manipulate you somehow and cheat you, and all the things that have been happening to me. I get cheated, lied to, deceived over and over again. But this is what people think of me. Anyway, that is not me. Today is 3rd of July, 2023, and right now it's, it looks like 2:19 a.m. Bye for now.